Ping ourselves in there. Hello, everyone, and
Hey,
welcome
everyone.
to Artificial Intelligence, the future of digital technologies in your Microsoft 365 classroom. I'm Niall, and I'm really lucky today to be joined by the ever incredible Pam Curry. Hi, Pam.
Hey, Niall, how are you doing?
I'm grand. How about yourself?
Very well. Very rainy little Alloa this afternoon, but we're doing good. Having a good day.
Absolutely. Aberdeen's the same. Don't worry. I think it's all over Scotland right now.
Yeah.
Although the snow's gone, thankfully.
It's always good.
Absolutely. So we're going to be having a look today at the future of technology in classrooms, which is artificial intelligence. Now, I asked Pam to come along to join us today because Pam has spent the last however many months throwing herself into AI and has become a bit of a kind of local master on the topic. So what we're going to have today is I'm going to be sharing the screen. I'm going to be showing you loads of different kind of ways that you can use AI in your Microsoft 365 classroom. And Pam's going to be just jumping in and joining me for wee bits, kind of offering wee kind of hints and tips on how to use the softwares and just kind of how it can support your class to kind of achieve and kind of make the most of that new and future technologies. I've noticed 2 comments have appeared already.
Yeah, hey, Gary.
Hey, nice. You've commented for us. Thank you very much. Hey, Gary. So I'll just pop it up for everybody to see. There we go. Gary saying hi from Ayr. It's good to hear from you again, Gary. Oops, you've done it for me there, Pam. Yeah, this is what happens when we've got 2 people in charge of everything. So I'll leave you to it. You can run that for us, Pam. So so we're going to be having a look today at AI. This one is a wee bit longer than the 20-minute Microsoft Subject series that we've been running. So today's session is going to run for kind of just shy of an hour. We do kind of have a chance for you to fill in the form as well at the end. It's just the same as we've been running before, quick 10-second form, just to let us know what you've enjoyed the most and if you've taken anything away from the session. So kind of let's jump in. Let's have a little look at AI and all the kind of massive changes that have been coming towards Bing and Microsoft 365. So just give me 2 seconds here just to share my screen. So I'm just going to swap everything over. Share screen. Here we go. Entire screen. And this one here. Okay. So you should all now be able to see my screen. Here I am on Microsoft Bing. It's saying I'm in Hounslow just now. I'm not too sure where that is. Is that down in England? Down in London?
It's London,
me up from. I am not there, but that's absolutely fine. So here I am on Microsoft Bing. Now, you might have heard loads of kind of chat about ChatGPT and how these kind of AI softwares are starting to kind of take over. And you might have heard the wee story about how Microsoft has acquired OpenAI. So what they've now done is they've started to put that into their Edge browser. And if you have a personal account, then you can actually access their Bing AI already, and you can have a little kind of play around with that yourself. So before we begin, up on the top right-hand corner, if you are signed in to a personal account and you've kind of signed up for Bing AI chat, then on the top right-hand corner, you're going to notice that we have here our Bing AI chat. It's called the Bing Discover button up there. And from within here, this is where we can start to do the majority of our work, no matter what web page we're on. So we can access Bing chat and we can ask it very quick questions. We've got examples here of kind of what are some meals that I can make for picky toddler who doesn't eat orange-colored foods, we've got get a better answer. So instead of just kind of searching for the answers, we can actually ask the Bing AI to do that work for us. So here we've got what are the pros and cons of the top 3 selling pet vacuums. So we're not having to do that work ourselves. Bing is actually going to do that work for us. Previously, we'd have to go and find out what the top 3 selling pet vacuums were, then find all the pros, find all the cons, and kind of put all that together ourselves. Bing will do it all for us. So it's a massive time saver there. And the last one there is to rewrite text together. So you can select text that's on the page, anywhere that's on the page, just go from there, and Bing will actually help you to write that itself. Up in the top right-hand corner, we've also then got Compose, and this is where you can ask it to start to do some really incredible things, and I'm going to show you that in just a wee second, but I'm just going to point out you can ask Bing to give you a very quick summary on the life of Leonardo da Vinci. You could ask it about foods to create for a menu, as you'll see I've got coming up in just a second. You can ask it to write an email for you, create a blog post, lots and lots of different things. So I'm just going to close that down just now. And the first thing that I'm going to show you here today is to how to use the Bing chat within the Microsoft. So here I've got, give me a dinner menu for 4 meat eaters, 3 vegetarians, and 1 vegan. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just hit search. And on the right-hand side here in the middle, you're going to notice that Bing is going to start to come up with ideas itself. So on the left, we have our kind of standard web search. And on the right, this is where Bing is going to start to actually answer that question for us. Here we go. Pam, what do you think it's going to say?
I've no idea, actually. But I do think the idea of getting a dinner recipe is fascinating. One of the guys in our office is completely... ChatGPT's become like his best friend. He's been kind of getting emotional support from it as he needs to. And there was one night he had a bunch of ingredients in his fridge and he didn't know what to do with them. So he put the ingredients into ChatGPT and it came up with a recipe, which I thought was just marvelous.
Have you seen the new ones as well? Because ChatGPT 4 has just
with the photos.
Yeah, where you can use photos. So I saw somebody took a picture of their cupboard of all the different things that were in there and said to ChatGPT, what meal can I make out of these ingredients, similar to what the team has done there, and it spat out a menu for them. That's incredible.
It really is.
Taking all the hard work out of everything that we're doing now is great. So you'll see there it has come up with our full menu here for our 3 different eaters. So we've got pasta. We can make a cheesy baked tortellini casserole with ground beef. Then we can also have one with chicken or a sweet pea potato noodles. We've got chili, sandwiches, curry, and lastly a pie as well. So it's given us loads of different ideas on how we can support all of our guests at our dinner table. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how you can use Bing chat to answer some very quick questions for you. Now, if I head up to the top here, you will notice that I've just searched for TA Education Scotland. That's ourselves. I've just had a little look at the kind of a wee bit of information on me. And the kind of quick way to access Bing chat is up here under the chat part. So instead of going into search and typing in your questions every time, you can actually go into chat here. And when you click on chat, this is where the Bing chat all opens up for you. Now, before we jump into here, I'm going to show you just this kind of their web page, and it gives us a couple of ideas on things that you could search for. Now, we're going to keep it kind of very education based today. I've got loads of different ideas for you, but there's a couple of ideas in here that I think might be kind of useful for everybody who's watching. So we've got there, create a 3-course meal, and it actually gives you the text that you might want to ask. We've got plan a special anniversary trip. What arts ideas can I do with my child? Can you help me get fit? Write a rhyming poem. So we're going to take some of these ideas today and we're actually going to improve upon them and we're going to add on to them. So here we are within, it's given me my information on TA Education Scotland because that's what we were just kind of having a wee look at there. But we're going to start anew. So I'm going to click down in the bottom left, we have new topic. And you'll see, if I scroll down a wee bit, it's always great to start fresh, ask me anything. Now, within Bing chat, you have 150 different chats that you can use every single day. And within each kind of topic of chats, you can have 15 chats within each topic. That'll become clear in just a wee minute. So for example, if I want to find out information about the menu that I'm creating, I might ask for that menu. I might then say, give me more information on the tortellini. Each of these questions are going to be within one topic, okay? And you can have 15 chats within one topic and as many topics as you like in the day, as long as you're reduced to 150 chats per day. Now that number has increased from, I think it was 120 last week. So the number just kind of keeps on rising for everybody as the chat software kind of develops more and more. Now here we have our conversation style. So if we're kind of education based, I've been going more precise. This is the one that I've been going for. When I've been thinking about kind of art lessons, I've been going more creative. I want it to be more creative with its answers. So you can choose the setting that kind of suits you best. Pam, have you got experience or experienced much about kind of training the AI?
No, actually, I haven't. I mean, we did have a little play around with this with the Education Scotland website last week, where we kind of got it to learn the content of the Education Scotland website. And then we were able to ask it questions based on that content. Not done much playing around with that, but yeah, it's just fascinating that you can kind of give it information and ask it, questions based on that as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You can kind of. It takes the hard work out of it, doesn't it? You've given it the background. You want to find more information, for example, on the Education Scotland website, and you just direct the chat into there and say, find me this information, and it'll do everything for you. Pull it together. Might even put that information into a podcast or into a poem or whatever kind of creative outlet you're wanting to seek. So I'm going to show you just now. There are kind of ways that you can actually get the chat to kind of give you stronger answers. So I could just search for write me a lesson plan on microbits. Okay. Let's see. Let's see the magic happen. Okay. So it starts to search for microbits, and in just a wee second, here we go. We get a kind of a little bit of text on what microbits are and what your lesson could be. So here we've got the introduction, we've got a demonstration, we've got examples of what you can use it for. But really, that doesn't give me every single piece of information that I need for my lesson. So I'm going to stop the response there. And I'm going to actually train the chat to kind of answer me in a particular way. So I've got here pasted in. So I'm going to tell it this little bit of information. Lesson plans should link to the Scottish Curriculum for Excellence, which should include success criteria, learning outcomes, have an introduction, approximately 50 words, a main focus for the lesson, approximately 200 words, and a plenary, approximately 50 words. Now, the way that you train these chats is that you ask it, do you understand, at the end? So I'm going to hit enter here, and it's going to tell me that yes, it understands. Give it a wee second. Yes, I understand. You want me to write a lesson plan on microbits that follows these different kind of parts. Okay. Is that correct? Yes. Now you'll notice that we've got the 1 of 15 and 2 of 15 because this is all one topic. Okay. I will try to write a lesson plan. Okay. So it's just going to start to create that for me. So it's going to take the information above and it's going to start to kind of put that into a format that's more usable for me as a teacher. So it's going to start to link everything into success criteria, learning outcomes, the curriculum for excellence, and it's just going to work on that quietly in the background there. It's just going to take kind of a minute or so to do that. Pam, I know that Tony in the work as well, he's been looking into the chat GPT quite a lot, and he's been starting to kind of create his own one, hasn't he? Yeah.
So I don't know about everyone else, but we have seen a proliferation of new AI tools in the last sort of month or so. It seems to me that every time I go on Twitter, there's a new tool. And of course, that's because the API from ChatGPT and OpenAI is public and can be accessed by any software developer. So in our team, we've been looking at that as well. So Tony, our developer, has been looking into what we're doing just now, really, something that would be useful for educators in Scotland would be the ability to kind of choose a subject, choose a curricular area, choose a level, and then perhaps a topic within that, and have a series of lesson plans generated where we've already taught it to use this kind of Scottish CFE framework and link it to the E's and O's. So yeah, that's what we've been exploring as something useful we could develop. But we've seen quiz makers from the team behind Moat. There's a product called Conquer, which just lets you put in a topic. It'll immediately create a quiz, and that quiz can be exported to various places as well. So things like that. We've been using video AIs, so many different softwares now incorporating this technology. And just I think what we've got here just now in our world at this moment in time is a kind of moment of digital transformation that kind of is reminiscent of the web explosion in the 90s, where it's just a game changer for everyone, I think. And it just offers up so many more opportunities for creativity. So that has got our lesson plan.
I mean, my Twitter is just blowing up constantly.
Yeah.
Just with people bringing out new AIs or linking to new AIs and giving examples of how you can use them. It was taking its time a wee bit, so I've just started a new topic and gonna get it to try again a wee bit.
Yeah, it's a fascinating time. It really is. And in some ways it's kind of, the opportunities for creativity with this are kind of limitless, really. I mean, I said earlier that, one of the team was kind of sort of having relationship woes and asking ChatGPT for support. And, actually there's another tool you could invent, couldn't you? Chat-based kind of mental health support, not beyond the realms of possibility, because actually what it offered out as advice was very sensible.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I mean, there's so many kind of mental health support places online where you have to wait for someone. So if you were able to have that instant communication,
absolutely.
I think that would be useful. I'm just going to type in here. So it's given me it's found information on CFE here. So I'm just going to type in, let's start with the lesson plan then. What's the topic and subject? So please write for me a lesson plan for beginners all about microbits. Okay. You can hear the car.
A horn in the background, yeah. I heard that as well.
So here we go. Let's see what it starts to create. Well, I've got beside me here. So I've got a list of different ways that we can kind of use the AI to create our lesson plans and create different activities for our students. So coming up, we've got different story starts. We've got drafting emails for the families of your students in class. We've got podcasts, haikus, maths, art, and then finally we're going to have a look at Microsoft's Copilot as well, which was announced last week, and it looks incredible. It looks absolutely incredible. Okay. So it's currently describing a lesson plan for me here. It's not what I was giving me earlier, which is really interesting. So this gives us kind of an idea. It's breaking up that idea of what each of these success criteria is and learning examples. So here we go. That's it, starting to create it. It's doing it, working its magic for us. So we've got first level computing science, introduction to microbit, all of the E's and O's that we will be covering. We've got our success criteria. So I can name and point out the LED lights, buttons, sensors, and pins on my microbits. This is just...
It's just incredible, isn't it? When you think about this in terms of a teacher time save, like this is what the profession needs, isn't it? It needs to save time like this. Imagine the work that would have been involved going through the big green folder trying to find these and O's. I mean, I know we have a digital version now, but actually, even looking through all those kind of PDFs for the E's and O's is, it's a big job.
It's a huge task, absolutely. So it's just asked me there, do I want to continue the lesson plan or edit the lesson plan? So I just hit continue, because obviously if it's getting it wrong for you and it's creating a large document or a large piece of text, it doesn't want to be giving you a huge piece of text that's wrong. So it just asked me there. It kind of self-corrected, which is really interesting. So here we've got each of the different steps that we're going to have to follow for our lesson with our students. We've even got our plenary in there. It's just absolutely mind-blowing, and something I would have loved to have been able to use with my students when I was in class. So there we go. What do you think of this lesson plan? Do you have any feedback or suggestions? Myself, I always like to put thank you at the end of my any of my AI chats. There's kind of different philosophical kind of theories that are out there about whether you should thank and use please and thank yous with your AIs. I always tend to do it and just give it a wee bit of feedback. So thank you for the lesson plan.
Niall, you're so polite. He's so polite, Niall. That's lovely that you thanked the artificial intelligence.
You know what? It just means that I'm going to be top of that list of people that the AI likes in 50 years' time when it takes
over. Niall's pals with it. I love it.
Best pals. So there we have our full lesson plans for our microbits lessons. It gives us in-depth links to the experiences and outcomes, our learning intentions, and our success criteria as well. So now that we have completed that first bit, I'm going to just start a new topic. We're going to wipe all that away. You could copy and paste it if you were kind of using that. And the next thing we're going to have a look at is story starts. So I'm going to just start off by prepping the tool. So I'm wanting it to be more creative because it's kind of a creative area that I'm going to do. So I'm going to put any questions about stories that I ask you. Please consider that I am a teacher that educates 5-year-olds. Okay? Do you understand? We're just going to prep it. So we're just going to let it know that kind of who we are that's asking and what the kind of age is of the students that it's going to be creating the things for. You're a teacher who educates 5-year-olds and want to ask me questions about stories. I'll try to answer them in a way that is suitable for your students. Perfect. Okay. So I'm now going to put in this bit of text here. Write me an opening paragraph for a story about a dinosaur called Chewie. Then hit enter. Okay. So now what it's going to do is it's going to take this information that my students are 5 years old, and it's going to create an opening paragraph for that story that's aimed at 5-year-olds, which is really interesting. So here we've got Chewie as a young triceratops who loved to explore the forest with his friends. He was curious about everything and always wanted to learn new things. One day he found a strange object that looked like a big shiny egg. He wondered what it was and what was inside it. He decided to take it home and show it to his family. But little did he know that the egg belonged to someone else who was not very happy about losing it. Pam, as an ex-English teacher, how does that make you feel?
I mean, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I showed this to my nieces last weekend, and immediately my niece began to write a story featuring herself and her sister on the edge of a forest. And it was just the sort of metaphorical language in it was kind of clever. And just incredible, really.
Absolutely, because you could even use this kind of as your kind of end of lesson tool. You could get your the Bing chat here that uses ChatGPT to come up with a very quick opener for your students, and they then have 50 words, 100 words to finish off that story, just to get them using the text, get their ideas out, start to explore. Could be even at the opening of any lesson as well. So it's just a really nice way for you to kind of be creative at the same time as using these digital tools.
That was a very common thing as an English teacher, that we would give either a picture as a kind of inspiration to a piece of writing, or indeed a kind of starter in a certain style that you then ask the students to replicate. So yeah, absolutely spot on as a literacy starter, I think.
Nice, I love it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to have a look at is drafting an email. So as we noticed earlier, we can do it from within Compose. So we've got our format here and we can write an email, but I'm wanting to get a bit more in depth with it. So I'm just going to ask here we go. So I've written my prep already for this one. So I am a teacher and all emails will be sent to the families of my students. Do you understand? Okay, I'm going to be a little bit more precise with this one, and I'm going to just hit enter there. So let's see if Bing Chat understands. I understand you're a teacher and you'll be sending emails to your families of your students. Is there anything specific is there anything specific you would like help with regarding this? Okay, so I'm just going to paste in this bit of text here, which says, please draft me a 200-word email that highlights that we're going on a school trip to the zoo on Wednesday, the 22nd of March, and students need to bring their own packed lunches. Okay, so let's see how Bing copes with this. We've got information about what they'll be learning about. They'll need to bring their own packed lunches for the trip. We would recommend a healthy packed lunch with plenty of snacks and water to keep them energized throughout the day. Looking forward to this educational experience and hope your child will enjoy it as much as we do. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me. So all I would then need to do is hit copy and paste, stick that into my email or into my Microsoft Teams channel with the parents that are there or have access, and hit send. And now everybody has access to the information they're going to need for our trip to the zoo.
What about the fact that it suggested a healthy packed lunch with lots of water? Because you didn't say anything about it being a healthy packed lunch, did you?
Did not mention that at all.
So when it's learned that, you know, healthy packed lunches are a good thing for young people.
Yeah.
Love that.
Absolutely. I mean, my alarm bells is going with kind of plenty of snacks and water, plenty of water, which is great for young ones, but that sounds like lots of toilet trips as well. So
True.
Something to think about. But yeah, so we have in there how we can use the Bing chat to support our students with email as well. We're going to wipe all that away and we're going to go new topic now. And the next thing we're going to do, and Pam, I think this one's going to interest you quite a bit, is we're going to have a look at podcasts as well. So we're going to get a couple of different ideas for podcasting. So I am a teacher, and any questions regarding podcasts will be aimed at the ability levels of 15-year-olds. Do you understand? Now we're wanting to be a little bit more creative this time. So I'm going to hit more creative and then hit send. Okay, let's see if it understands. I'll try my best to answer them. Fantastic. Okay. We're now going to put in. So I was a bit inspired by you, Pam. So here we go. We've got, please write for me 10 podcast titles that I can record in less than 10 minutes on the subject of Scottish poems. Okay. We can hit enter here. Let's see what the podcast titles are. Please be good. So it's searching for the Scottish poems. It's working out what we could use. Now, what I really like about this is that it doesn't, the Bing chat, it doesn't just give us information and it doesn't highlight where it's from. If you'll notice at the end of these, we've got numbers, so we can learn more about each of these kind of different, the sources that it's used for the text in there by clicking on the learn more. Excuse me. And we can actually, we've essentially been able to cite where it's got that information from. So if your students are kind of creating the poetry and they're interested to hear, for example, about Mary Queen of Scots, but they don't know very much about her, then we can actually click on the plus be more. We can go to number 4, which is here, and we can actually search for more information about Mary Queen of Scots. So it's just a great way for your students to kind of learn. Obviously, we've got about our poetry there, but also be about citing their sources and discovering different places that they could find that information, remembering to kind of attribute that information to the person who has created it. What are your thoughts on that there, Pam?
I mean, it's a heavy Burns emphasis. I might have gone back to it and said, well, could you include some Norman McCaig, some Edwin Morgan, and some Carol Ann Duffy?
May you rewrite the above list to include now Carol, is it dash Ann? How do you spell Carol Ann?
Carol Ann Duffy, yeah. I think it's just, yeah.
Like that?
They should get it from that, yep.
So, anybody else?
Edwin Morgan.
Edwin, oh, I remember. My higher English.
Go-to favourites.
Flooding back to me.
Go-to favourites for Scottish English teachers.
Here we go. So, we've noticed that the list there does not include some very famous within schools poets there. So it should have now. There we go. Yep, we've got Carol Ann Duffy. So we can rewrite the list to include Carol Ann Duffy, and we do then have Edwin Morgan. There we are, Master of Poetry. Okay, so that's just one way that you can use the chat function to not only kind of get your titles for you and kind of give you that inspiration of what you could be podcasting about, but also then we can rewrite that and we can add in more information to that list. Okay, my notes have just signed me out. Give me 2 seconds here while I...
We used this in a similar way in the office a few weeks ago, Niall, to create us engaging blog post titles. So we gave it a list of topics and said, could you create me 20 engaging blog post titles for the following topics? And it was things like AI and, history of games consoles and whatever else. And it just kind of used its knowledge, I suppose, of what makes a engaging blog post title, and was able to do it for us from there. So huge time save for us.
Massively so. Yeah, that's great. I guess that links in again to what your students could be doing, because they could ask for their blog titles, and then they could go off and create them and become inspired to go and find out more information, especially if you give them that topic. So, for example, you could ask them to find out more information on AI cars and driverless cars. Yeah. And the kind of AI tool that you're putting that into is going to spit out a load of different places of information that you could kind of go and find out more about. And the students might not even have considered kind of electric cars and the batteries that are being used, or maybe kind of the infrared receivers that are on the fronts of the cars, these kind of things. So it's a good way for your students to kind of become inspired about more information and learn a little bit more as well, the topics that they're interested in. Okay, so the next one we're going to do. So this one actually comes from my pal, Ailey, who was recently trying to come up with some Pokemon haikus and asked me if I knew any information about Pokemon, because when I was in primary 3, up until about primary 3, primary 4, I told everybody that I wanted to become a Pokemon trainer when I was older. That was my dream job when I was young. So she came to me for that bit of information, and I was like, I know lots of information, but I'm going to stick it in to Bing, and we're going to get it to kind of create the haikus for us. So I'm going to just copy this kind of bit of prep work here for ours. So I'm a teacher, and any question about haikus will be for the reading ability of 8-year-olds. Do you understand? So I'm just going to hit go from here. Okay. So yes, perfect. Okay, understands for 8-year-olds. And I'm going to ask it today to write us a haiku about school lunches. There we go. So we'll just give it a wee second. Write me a haiku about school lunches. Sandwiches and fruit, milk cartons and juice boxes. Lunchtime is yummy. Is that right? Sandwiches and fruit, 5. Milk cartons and juice boxes. Yep. Lunchtime is yummy. Perfect. Okay, so it's created as our little haiku about school lunches, and it's even given us a wee smiley face. I hope you like it. Great. Pam, have you got any topics that you'd like a haiku about?
Oh, could we get a haiku on artificial intelligence, please? Put Niall's spelling to the test there.
I know. Take me a wee second there. Computers can learn, they can do amazing things, but they are not alive. Ooh, that's very meta.
It really is.
Love it. Okay, and the last one, we're going to ask it just because of kind of the inspiration for this one. Write me a haiku about Pokemon. So let's see. Pokemon are fun. They have different powers. Got to catch them all. Fantastic. Okay, so you could get your students to come up with haikus for any different topic that you're working on, or what you could also do is you get you as a teacher put in these kind of top 2 lines here, whatever topic you're working on, and get your students to fill in that final line for their haiku. So it's just kind of an easy way for your students to kind of explore using text and using the AI to support them. Okay, new topic. Next one, just because I know we've got 35 minutes, so we've got about 20 minutes left or so. Maths. So I've got 2 more topics for you here. So the next one is for maths teachers or anybody who uses maths. So I'm going to put this in, and we're going to be more precise here just because we're using maths. So I'm a maths teacher, and any maths questions that I ask will be for 10-year-olds. Do you understand? Maths questions that I ask for, there we go, will be for 10-year-olds. Okay, do you understand? I can see Gary has commented on YouTube there. Pam, do you mind flashing it?
Thank you, yeah, sure.
We've got excellent use of AI, great ways to innovate teaching and learning in the classroom. Nice one, thanks, Gary.
Smashing, thanks, Gary.
So we have here our maths questions. I understand. I'll do my best to provide you with appropriate maths questions for 10-year-olds. Is there a specific focus you'd like me to, or topic you'd like me to focus on? So I'm just going to paste in here. Write me 25 maths questions on the topic of the 5 times table. Include the answers at the bottom of the questions. Okay. So let's hit go and see what it comes up with here. So this is very similar to when you use OneNote as well. You know how you can generate those Microsoft forms and it will automatically create those questions for you. What you could do is you could ask Bing Chat to create maybe I remember like a couple of years ago, everybody was using Big Maths, and you would get like 2 minutes or whatever it was to answer as many questions as you could. Ask Bing Chat to come up with maybe 50 questions for your students, stick on that timer for them, and see how many they can answer within that time. We've got there, a couple of blank questions as well. Get the students to fill them in themselves. What number do you get when you multiply 5 by 6? So we've got some numerical questions up at the top. We've got some written word questions down at the bottom there. So lots of different kind of variation there for our students. And then we also have the answers. So what you could then do is get your students to self-mark or get someone else to mark for them, or you could do it yourself. This could then link into your Microsoft Forms. You could take these questions, put them into forms, and then ask your students to fill those in. We've got the answers all there for us. Okay, so there we go for your maths questions. We've got loads of different questions there. We've got up to 25 different ones, and all I've asked it to do was to consider questions that would be suitable for 10-year-olds and asked it for 25 questions regarding the 5 times table. Okay, there's a couple of more things for you to do. We can then down at the bottom, you see it says, give me more questions on multiplication, on division, addition and subtraction. So it knows what you're asking it to do, and Bing is then kind of predicting what you're going to ask for more of. So I could put in here, give me more questions on multiplication. Let's see what it gives us. Oh, phone's ringing.
It's off.
So we've got related questions. Okay, interesting. You see the pattern there as well, 6 times 4, 7 times 3. So it's kind of just giving us general multiplication questions here. Okay, so again, saving teachers a ton of time. We're going to ask Bing to do all that work for us. I'm just going to stop the response there. We know what it's going to kind of chuck out at us just now. And the last one that we're going to have a look at today is art. So we're going to prep it. I'm going to say more creative because we're heading into art. And we're going to say here, I'm a teacher and any questions regarding art will need to be accessible by students under 15 years old. So obviously it can't be anything that is provocative in that manner. Do you understand? So I'm going to hit send. And from here, let's see what it gives us. Hello, this is Bing. Yes, I understand. I will try to answer your questions about art in a way that is suitable for students under 15 years old. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm now going to paste in my question for it. So create a list of Scottish artists who have been influential across the world. After each artist's name, please include a lesson idea for students based on that artist. Pam, have you got any famous Scottish or favourite Scottish artists kind of to hand? Is there anybody that you could yourself?
Scottish artists. Are we talking music artists here or artists?
I was going kind of painting artists as well.
What's the name of that guy that everybody uses? What's the name of the guy that everybody uses that paints the cows and things?
Oh,
somebody Brown.
Stephen Brown.
Stephen Brown, yeah.
Yeah, quite a fan of him. I quite like Peter Howson.
Peter Howson, yeah.
It was like standard grade art, We had a look at him.
Yeah.
We were chatting about the weekend. We were like, what art can we put on the walls? I was like, I would love kind of like a print of Peter Howson's work. I think it'd be really cool to have.
What kind of stuff does he paint?
It's quite like grotesque, kind of like very kind of over exaggerated people.
Yes, I know.
And kind of like a dystopian kind of.
Yeah, I know.
It's quite cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so here we've got a list of 5 different Scottish artists. Now, what it's done there is it's not just given us kind of a bit of background about them. We then also have our lesson idea. So remember, in the question we said, after each artist's name, please include a lesson idea for students based on that artist. For Alan Ramsey, now I think he was from where I'm from, down the border. We've got our lesson idea here. Could be to ask students to research one of Ramsey's portraits and write a biography of the person depicted. We've got here a lesson idea could be to ask students to create their own neoclassical painting based on the story of the Greek and Roman mythology. We've got loads of different lesson ideas here, just purely from creating our list of Scottish artists. Okay, Pam, before I jump on to Microsoft Copilot, is there anything else you'd like to ask Bing? Put me on the spot.
Do you know what I think is really fascinating, actually, because we were doing this last week for a project that we're soon to be launching. So we asked it to give us information about the topic of doxing. So I just think this is fascinating. Yeah, doxing, yeah. It gives information about the topic of doxing.
I'm a teacher, and any question I ask will be for students under 16 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I didn't put do you understand? Okay, I'm just going to put do you understand at the bottom. Okay, do you understand? Let's give it a wee second. Might have to restart it.
I'm not sure what's going to happen here with the age.
Okay, let's give it a try.
Yeah, give it a try.
Please give us information on the topic of doxing. Have I spelled that right? Double X?
Yeah, that's correct, yes. There is a bit of debate about whether it's 2 X's or 1, but yeah, that works.
Okay, let's see what happens here.
Okay, so it does tell us. Okay, so now I think it'd be interesting to ask it now to generate this for students younger than 16, because this is the issue we encountered. So maybe try like for age 10 or something. Okay.
For students of 10 years old. Okay.
This is not even sure what's going to happen here, but if it's the same as what happened to us last week, then there is a kind of there's a bit. Okay, it's not done it this time. So what happened to us last week, just to explain to everyone, is that when we searched for doxing, we gave it an age range, and I can't remember off the top of my head what the age range was, but it told us that doxing is a complicated issue of privacy and safety, and it maybe wasn't appropriate for students of that age. And that was just really interesting to me, because I was like, okay, so there's been a bit of learning in the AI about what would be appropriate for, children's topics. So a bit of pre-filtering almost, which just kind of, I just thought it was interesting. It's not done it for us live, unfortunately, but we did it for various age ranges, and we got down to a certain age, and it was like, sorry, no, this is not appropriate for them. And
that's a great.
I just thought it was fascinating.
Yeah, it's learning. It's great. It just kind of proves the point as well that by prepping it and saying, I am creating this document for 5-year-olds or 10-year-olds, that it's actually taking on board what you're saying, and it's not just spitting out information that might be inappropriate for those students as well.
Yeah, and the language changes as well, because so one of the things we did was ask for just testing it out with, I'd like to learn about engines. I'm aged 5. So if you say I like to learn about engines, I'm age 5, then it begins to speak to you in a way you might talk to a 5-year-old about engines. It's like, hey, engines are a really exciting topic. You know, I mean, it just completely adjusts its language and tone for a 5-year-old. Whereas obviously if you're 17, you want to learn about engines, there's a different tone and there's different language.
It's not going to tell you about Thomas.
Correct.
Absolutely. So yeah, no, that's really interesting. That's quite cool. Okay, so we're going to jump on here into Copilot. So Copilot is something that was announced last week. We don't have access yet because I think there's only is there 8 people I read online or 8 external companies online that have access to Copilot. So Copilot is Microsoft's way of bringing their AI into the Microsoft 365 tools. So I'm just going to show you kind of the list of different tools that will be available. So we've got Microsoft Word, for example. So on the right, you'll notice that we've got all the different tools that are in there. So we've got Word. So by using Microsoft Words and Copilot, we'll be able to draft a 2-page project proposal based on the data from different documents and spreadsheets. So in it, you'll say draft a 2-page project proposal based on the data from meeting notes document and spreadsheet notes document. You can make the 3rd paragraph more concise. So in your document there, change the tone of the document to be more casual. And lastly, you can create a 1-page draft based on this rough outline. So if I click next here, there's going to be a little video just kind of showing you what that's going to look like. So here I am within my Microsoft Word. And it's not my Microsoft Word, within Word. And from there, you'll see how Copilot is going to work. So it just sits up in the top right-hand corner underneath Catch Up. And from there, you can include it in any of your Word documents, pull in information from other documents that are there. You'll see it's pulling in the meeting notes and the roadmap. And from there, it's going to create a draft based on those 2 documents. And there's the draft in there. That's
I mean, when I think about the hours and hours and hours I've spent writing project proposals.
Yeah. It's, you know what, wait for PowerPoint and Teams. Those are 2 of my favorite ones that we've got coming up.
The Teams stuff's just...
The Teams one is really cool. Oh, it was a bit quick. So in Excel, we're able to get a breakdown of the sales by type and channel. We can then ask it to insert a table. We can project the impact of the variable and generate a chart to help visualize this, model how a change in the growth rate for that variable would impact my gross margin as well. So if I just swipe over here, we've got Copilot on the top right-hand corner. We just ask it to do something, analyze this quarter's business results, and from there, we've got our analysis and our key information. Okay, so it just creates that kind of ease of use for everything that we're doing. We've got our 3 key statements within there, all done for us, and we've not even had to do anything. Unbelievable. We've then got PowerPoint in here. So this one's really cool. Create a 5-slide presentation based on a Word document and include relevant stock photos. So I think this is great for anybody that's using it from their notes. So you could be kind of meeting with someone and you take down a load of notes based on what your presentation is you want it to be. And then all you do is you type that up on your Word document, head into PowerPoint, then put into Copilot that you're wanting to create that presentation based off the notes, and it's going to do it for you using the stock photos. It's really cool. We can consolidate presentations into summaries, and lastly, we can reformat bullet points into 3 columns, each with a picture. So here is the example they use. So there's Copilot, and we're going to create a short presentation based on, there's our notes from the meeting. We hit next, it's generating, and we've got our presentation created.
Whoa.
It's so quick. Think of how long we've spent creating presentations.
What are we going to do for work?
I know. It's absolutely incredible. So that is presentations. That's how you can use it with PowerPoint. We've got Outlook. So summarize the emails that I've missed while I was out last week. Flag any important items. So you don't have to kind of traipse through and you can ignore all the emails from me. You can draft a response thanking them and asking them for more details about their 2nd and 3rd points. Shorten this draft and make the tone professional. And lastly, invite everyone to a lunch and learn about new product launches next Thursday at noon. Mention that lunch is provided. So here we go. Within Outlook, we start Copilot and we ask Lily to, what's it ask Lily to do? It's disappeared. There we go. It's written our email for us, and we don't have to do anything. Don't have to type barely anything. So Copilot, ask Lily to be a last-minute presenter in supply chain. Okay, so you've typed in less than a sentence, and there you go, email. Amazing. And next up, we have, I don't know why it's doing this, Teams. So Teams is really cool. I think this is unbelievable. Summarize what I've missed in the meeting. What points have been made so far? Where do we disagree on this topic? So it takes that chat that everybody's been having, and obviously we get the kind of captions and the speaker notes from that, but it will actually give you notes based on them, which is amazing. Create a table of pros and cons for what we've been discussing. What else should we consider before making a decision? And lastly, what decisions were made and what are some next suggested steps? So you'll see here, we've got our meeting here, and I've joined in late. On the right-hand corner, we've got recap this meeting so far. And there we've got our recap. And how does the group feel about the inventory status? They're still talking. They've not even acknowledged that I'm here. And then we've got information on everything that they've been saying so far. Like, that's incredible. Think of what we could use this for. Like,
it kind of actually makes it more useful to have an online meeting than an in-person one when you've got this other member of staff working for you. It's like if you have an in-person meeting, it'd almost be worth having Teams running alongside it.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
That's it's absolutely, blows my mind every single time.
We're at a fascinating time to be alive.
I know, yes, absolutely. So just before kind of we're finishing up, if you've got any questions, please do let us know in the comments section. We are currently live on Twitter and on YouTube. For whatever reason, Facebook didn't let us go live on it, but that's fine. Everybody will be on the YouTube and Twitter anyway. So please do kind of comment and let us know if there's anything that's really excited you about what we've shown you today. And if you have any questions for us. The Copilot is going to be starting off with kind of business customers first. It's not coming to education yet. It will be there in the future, but what they're saying is at the moment it's not yet going to be coming out to education. So kind of keep your eyes open for that. It will be coming soon though, but I thought it was just an exciting thing to show everyone that we can, or that we will in the future have this incredible piece of tech to support us in all the work that we're doing.
And I guess in the meantime, use this to save yourself time, eh?
Massively so. It's going to, you've seen all the different things that we've done today, from lesson plans to art lessons, maths, kind of questions for your students, haikus written, podcasts, drafting your emails, story starts. We've had to look at loads of different parts. So like the possibilities are endless, and every day more and more exciting things are coming out about using AI.
And exciting ways to use it as well and to work with it. It's almost like, I suppose, we're developing a new literacy around this. And it's becoming a bit of an art to be able to communicate with an artificial intelligence, isn't it? And to be able to get the most out of it. So maybe we've kind of stumbled upon a literacy we didn't know we needed to stumble upon in November last year, which fascinates me.
Absolutely. Even down to things like, do you say please and thank you to the AI? It's
like, how do you speak to an AI?
Let us know in the comments. Like, do you say please and thank you to the AI after it's completed bits for you? I know I have done. It just feels a bit strange sometimes. If
feels rude not to.
It's built into me now. I can't not. There we go. Comment coming in.
Cheers, Gary.
Looking forward to Copilot.
Yeah, definitely. Always be nice to you.
I agree.
I love that, Gary. Thank you. We agree. I'm going to try and be a bit nicer, to be honest. I feel like I've not been quite so appreciative as I should have been.
God, I think everybody's still learning. Like you said, we're all developing that new literacy skills.
That's true.
The styles are going to change. Like everything that we've shown today, give it 6 months and something even more incredible is going to be kind of chapping at the door. So I'm really excited to kind of see where this goes. I'm going to ping down at the bottom just now the survey. So if you have enjoyed today's session, please do let us know. We would love to hear your feedback. We would love to hear kind of what you'd like to do this with your students and how you can support your students to use AI. We've just really touched the tip of the iceberg here. There's so many incredible things that you can use this for. So if you have any ideas, put it in the comments, tag us on Twitter. You'll find our Twitter handles in our headers here. So I'm at TA Scotland and at Niall Ridgway. Pam's also TA Scotland, and we've got Pam Curry TA as well. So please do let us know.
Yeah, we've shared quite a bit on our own personal Twitters and the TA Twitter over the last kind of month or so with regard to AI, and with kind of using AI alongside other tools, and just having this kind of daisy chain effect of automation that can happen with multiple different tools, which is just incredible. So we're using, things like the Bing chat to give us quotes from Macbeth. I was able to take them into another app called Canva and use an AI within Canva to generate images automatically using those quotes. And that, took 2 minutes of time and is, just incredible. So yeah, check us out on Twitter to keep up with all the kind of latest. Niall had a wee series of AI poems in a Burns style at the end of January there. So yeah, there's lots of things on our socials as well.
I've put up as well. I'm just going to share my screen. So as you said, kind of Daisy.
There he is.
I was playing with yesterday. So Midjourney is an external application that uses AI. But what I've done here was I took that photo on the top left of myself and I tried to recreate that in different styles. So I used an AI to generate the kind of the text for what I wanted the kind of art AI to recreate. So I've got down there, I've got Edvard Munch, I've got Frida Kahlo in the bottom left. Can't remember who I used at the top there, but I've used different kind of art styles to and kind of AI to, as you said, I'm just kind of daisy chain that.
Incredible.
And to create something incredible. So yeah, that was just me playing around with it. That's not even an expert on it. That was the first 30 minutes playing with it. So, yeah, it just shows you what's out there. So I'm just going to ping up, just before we go, the survey again. So if you do have anything that you want to tell us, please do pop it in the survey. Let us know how we've gotten on today. You can find us again on Twitter at TA Scotland, at Niall Ridgway, and at Pam Curry TA as well. So share all your photos with us, share anything that you've learned, tag and share this video. We'd love for as many people as possible to see it and kind of share the amazing work that's coming out there, because we're really excited for it as well. Before we head, Pam, is there anything you're wanting to kind of say?
That's great. Just keep up. Obviously, we've been running a full load of Microsoft subject series, just little short subject series streams on our YouTube channel. They're all available for catch up. What did we cover now? With English, with expressive arts, maths,
science, there was technology, there was early years, homework, there was a million things. there was 9
short as well. And
20 minutes.
Not too detailed, just kind of inspirational, like you could do this, or this, and not in-depth training, but just kind of inspiring ideas. Probably a good way to sum it up, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a great way to sum it up.
Great little series, Niall. Thank you for organising all that. No problem at
all. Thank you very much. And tomorrow we have a Microsoft Designer as well. So I'm really excited to do that one. And
excited
we're going to have
Courtney's
going to jump on with that one. So when I first joined TA Scotland, my designs were subpar, to say the best. And Courtney taught me a lot of things to do with design and how things should look, and all the kind of posts that we've been putting out on social media have been kind of created under Courtney's design eye. So I've asked Courtney to come along and join us tomorrow for Microsoft Designer. Really excited to show you this one. And there's a huge kind of AI input from within there as well. Definitely. We're going to save that for tomorrow for everybody to join us for Microsoft Designer. So please do 4 o'clock tomorrow. We'll see you there. Perfect. Right. I'm going to ping up the kind of outro video for everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name has been Niall. I've been joined by Pam Curry, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers.
Bye. Bye.